Welcome to an all-new episode of St. Louis Presents.
It is hard to believe, Steve, that Christmas season has begun in earnest because all around St. Louis City and all around the metro area, we're decked for the holidays.
Yeah.
Are you getting in the spirit at all?
I am. Just the other day, I finally put lights up on my house. I do that every year. I've got a widow's walk. You know what that is?
Yes.
So I had to climb way up on the top and...
Ooh, careful.
Yeah.
Did you use the warm 60-degree day to do that, or the day we had sleet?
It was the day we had sleet, and I did it in my bathrobe, which was a treat for my neighbors. But at any rate, I got all the lights up.
I wish there were pictures of that. That would be worth seeing. I did something with my family recently that was really fun. The Polar Express is a new Christmas-related holiday thing.
Train ride, right?
Right. And so at first they had 3 rides. Those sold out. They added more. Those sold out. I think they just added a few more. I don't know if they'll add more, but I took my family on that, and it was adorable. And Union Station was busier than I had ever seen it. So I think it's fantastic. I'm so glad because the O'Laughlins have taken over Union Station,
Right.
and they're really working to turn it into a family destination, and that was really nice to see.
And they're doing more to it, I think, right?
Yeah, they're moving into phase 2 of Union Station, but coming up there's all kinds of holiday tours and neighborhoods in St. Louis that have beautiful homes decked out for the holidays.
Polar Express sounds fun, though, and you actually go out towards the arch on the little scenarios set up along the way. And things.
Right, the Polar Express train leaves the station. It goes almost up to the Musial Bridge and then back, and there's plenty to see along the way, but it's like you're heading to the North
I want to
Pole.
tell you, we're going to be talking to one of the next great bakers during the show
Yes,
today.
that is going to be exciting. We'll find out how business is since winning that on national television. So stay with us. It's St. Louis Presents on STL TV. Well, we've already been hit with some pretty cold weather, and we still have a couple of months of winter weather ahead. And while we make sure ourselves and our neighbors are safe in the cold weather, it's really important that we remember our pets as well. And Stacy Zellen is here with some important cold weather tips for keeping our pets safe in the cold. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us again.
And who's our friend?
This is Bumbershoot. He's 2 years old, and he is available for adoption.
Oh, he is really adorable, and he's been interacting really well with everyone in the studio, so hopefully somebody will make his Christmas.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, let's talk about the cold, because we've had some freezing days, we've had some days with sleet, we've had some snow already. I personally am not one of those people. I don't really understand why people get a dog and then leave it outside all the time, but that's probably another topic for another day. If you are a person who leaves your dog outdoors for the majority of the time, what should people know? What are some ways to ensure that your dog will be safe?
Sure. Well, like you said, we have had some, extreme cold weather, similar to how we have extreme heat in the summer, and it's dangerous for both people and pets alike. It can even be deadly. So really, just like in the summer, we really want people to just bring their animals in. They're safer, they're going to be happier when they're inside with you and they're being kept warm. So that's the first thing we really urge people to do. Now, if your animal is going to be outside, we encourage you to have adequate shelter for that animal. A lot of people immediately think dog houses, but dog houses need to have some certain characteristics in order to really keep an animal safe and warm. For example, they need to have 4 walls, a point of entry or a door, they have to have a roof, and they have to have a bottom. And this is to prevent wind from getting into the doghouse. The other thing is you can't put a tiny little dog in a giant doghouse because that tiny dog will have no way to retain its heat. And similarly, you don't want to put a big dog in a small doghouse because it needs to be big enough for the dog to get up and move around. The other thing that's really important is to insulate dog houses or any kind of shelter for pets correctly. People immediately think to use towels and blankets, But the problem with towels and blankets is that they can actually absorb water and they can freeze, and they'll actually be colder than a drier, better insulation, which we recommend is straw.
Straw. All right. For people who live in the city, where do they get straw?
Well, thanks to a wonderful partnership that we have with an organization called Operation Spot, they supply us with a free supply of straw, and any resident can come pick straw up from our shelter. You can always call, but really anyone can come to our shelter at 2801 Clark Avenue from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 7 days a week, and they can get straw to put in their animal shelter outside.
That's good to know.
It is.
Straw. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about the problem with blankets and towels. One thing people might do too is put the dog in the garage. Garages are not always insulated and warm either, which can be a problem, but then there's other things in garages that can cause problems as well.
That's right, that's right. Like I said earlier, a garage really isn't going to help any kind of animal retain its heat because it's just too big. But speaking of other issues that might be related to garages, as it gets colder, a lot of folks are getting out chemicals like antifreeze for their cars. And antifreeze actually tastes really sweet to pets, but it's poisonous. So we want people to be really careful with chemicals like those. Similarly, another chemical that you don't really think of automatically is the salt that you put down to melt ice. This can get on animals' paws, and it not only irritates their paws, but they might want to start licking them, and that can be poisonous as well.
Before we have to let you go, if people want to adopt Bumbershoot or any of his furry friends, where can they get more information on that?
They can either come to our shelter or contact Stray Rescue. Our adoption process is facilitated through them. You can fill out an application online at strayrescue.org.
Excellent. It would make an excellent Christmas present if you have properly researched it and made sure that you can take care of a pet, right?
Exactly.
That is the really important part. All right, we have some really adorable pets like Nexie available for adoption, and just make sure you're a safe pet owner, and there's certainly plenty of information out there and a lot of free help out there for people who may think that they can't afford to properly take care of a pet. So there you see the information on the screen. And Stacy Zellen, thank you so much. And we're crossing our fingers that little Bumbershoot, oh, he's falling asleep while you pet him there. And while we pet Bumbershoot, let's see what kind of headlines Steve has for us. Steve?
Thanks, Debbie. The City of St. Louis Treasurer's Office is now offering a smartphone app to pay for parking meters. Park Mobile is available for iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Phone, and is slated to be up and running citywide by the end of 2014. For more information on how to download and use Park Mobile, visit parkmobile.com. Over the past 4 years, there have been 8 cold weather fatalities and more than 120 illnesses reported by hospitals and EMS officials in the city of St. Louis. To reduce your risk from cold weather, here are a few tips. Cover your skin if you must go outdoors. If working or exercising outdoors, allow your body to get acclimated to the cold. Know the signs and symptoms of frostbite, hypertension, and exertion. Be particularly cautious to avoid walking on ice. Never use a gas range or grill to heat your home. Do not place a space heater within 3 feet of anything that may catch on fire. And finally, make sure that your smoke and CO detectors are working properly. And St. Louis's largest New Year's Eve celebration will turn Grand Center into St. Luminous, closing the STL 250 celebrations while looking toward the city's bright future. First night in Grand Center will honor and celebrate the arts in St. Louis on Wednesday, December the 31st from 6 until midnight. For a full list of scheduled performances and activities at this family-friendly event, visit grandcenter.org. And Debbie, you know, since it's the end of the year, New Year's, I make a New Year's resolution, and my New Year's resolution this year is to learn to bake. Because
really?
I cook, but I don't know how to bake.
Well, that's perfect. I can teach you.
I'm not much of a baker either, but I love baking shows. And recently, 2 of St. Louis's favorite bakers took the cake on TLC's Next Great Baker.
And we're here now with Lia Weber to talk about what it takes to bake your way to victory while America watches. And Lia, that's exactly what you did for those people that didn't see that show.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so exciting. Each week we would compete against 10 teams, and we had to create, whether it be a baked good or a huge cake. And so we ended up winning. We beat out all 10 teams, and it was just really exciting and awesome for St. Louis, something that we can, represent St. Louis really well. So it was really cool.
And for people who don't watch shows like this, I asked Leah before, like, how much time do you get? Because they throw these challenges at you, and of course they edit it together, so it's impossible to know exactly how much time you had. But okay, this is it. You have to do this.
They would say, all right, you have 8 hours on the clock, it's go time. And we would have to sketch out our cake really quick, and then we'd have 8 hours, no more.
Because, I'm thinking maybe that's one of the reasons I never learned to bake, because it's not, I can cook something in 5 minutes, but baking does take more time.
It does. It takes a lot of time, and you had to really work on your time management, and that's where Al and I really succeeded, as we had good time management, so we were able to get the challenges done on time.
And I'm curious how something like this changes your life. Now, here you are, a baker in Florissant, Missouri, and then you win a national contest on a national television show. What did that do for you?
It totally changed my life. I have been so busy with orders, which has been great, and so I'm actually looking to open up a bakery now, since I've had so much, so many followers and everything. My followers on Instagram and Facebook have skyrocketed. I have over like 3,000, which is awesome. Wow. And just from all over the world too. It wasn't just a St. Louis thing. It was cool. It was a national thing.
And it was so nice too, because with so much bad news out of North County, I mean, you won this. It was announced in August, and of course, you had a party. There were 2 different parties for you guys in Florissant, and there were thousands of people who came out. How exciting is that?
It was so exciting to see the community really come together and support us and support the community amongst all the other stuff that was going on.
And if baked goods can't bring people together, what can?
If gooey butter cake can't make you smile. All right, I have a let's talk about these, because these look delicious. There's peanut butter cups on them.
Yeah, so my peanut butter cup recipe was in People magazine back in August after we won the show. This is one of the things that I won from the show, was to have my recipe featured in People magazine, which was really cool because tons of people read People magazine.
What does it take to differentiate yourself, do you think? Because so many people, who watch these baking shows like us, are like, I'm going to be a pastry chef, but obviously it takes something special to rise above everyone else.
I definitely am a perfectionist, so I think I like my stuff not only to look pretty, but taste really good.
Leah, it's working. What's the topping on this? That tastes like a chocolate mousse or something.
Yeah, it's chocolate buttercream filled with peanut butter fluff and topped with peanut butter cups.
My gosh.
So yeah, you can't really go wrong. And then also my French macaroons, those are one of my specialties that, not everybody makes them because they're really tedious cookie to make, but they're gluten-free, so that's an option for gluten-free people as well.
Yeah, and honestly, when I first saw those, I was like, I don't think I'm going to like those. I'm just going to take one little bite. Oh, and then I ate the whole package. So
Leah, do you think anyone can bake? I remember when I was a kid, using my sister's Easy Bake Oven. You remember that?
Yes, of course.
That's about the extent of my knowledge, but I've never baked. Can I learn?
Of course, yeah. Actually, what I'm going to do when I open up my bakery is I'm going to have baking classes for younger kids and for, all ages, but mainly based towards younger kids, because it's something that's, I think is really good to learn at a young age, because I started off baking as a kid ever since I was little, baking with my great-grandma, my grandma, my mom. So I think it's just a fun thing that you can do, and, whether you bake for fun or your profession, I think it's, something always good to learn.
It's also a good way to trick kids into doing math.
Exactly, yeah.
They don't even know they're doing math. Yeah. You're measuring. And
Unfortunately, I'm still not that good at math, but
I would do housework for this.
Well, you've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so with, I know you're getting in the process of opening your own shop. So how are orders for the holidays? Is it getting kind of crazy?
Yeah, very busy. I bake probably 12 hours a day in the kitchen.
Why am I the only one eating?
Because we're working.
Yeah,
but you tell us how it is. Gooey butter cake, one of the all-time favorites. Also, what is Buddy Velostra like? Because my daughter and I were obsessed with Cake Boss for a while, and I know he was the guy.
Yeah, Buddy is very funny. He knows what he's doing. He's the Cake Boss. So I learned tons from him, and it was such an honor to be able to work with him.
I got one quick question too. Is there anything new in baking? I mean, are you able to make up new recipes?
I mean, you can make anything you want, really, as long as you know the flavor combinations. You can pretty much do anything.
Do you have a specialty, something?
Well, my peanut butter chocolate is by far my most popular, along with the gooey butter and my French macaroons. That's why I brought them all here.
All right, so cupcakes, are they always going to be popular, or is the cupcake trend starting to fade?
I think it's always going to be popular. It's just such an easy thing to grab.
Well, good luck in your new venture.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually looking to open up in North County.
So we can order these if we go to Facebook right now.
Yeah, you can order them on Facebook. Made by Lia.
Well, we want to thank you, Leah,
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
and everyone for watching today.
I know, and we can't wait to eat the rest of these pastries. So we hope that you have enjoyed this episode of St. Louis Presents on STL TV.
Just keep talking.
I will keep talking while Steve keeps eating. So thanks to all of our guests, and thank you for
really
watching at home.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
see you
you.
next time.